Now, you know what a Kickstarter project is. It's crowdfunding, it's crowdsourcing, it's where people beg for your coin. People with ideas, people with good ideas, people with hopes, people with dreams. Maybe you've got an idea for a hat that doubles as a trebuchet in the case of a medieval attack, or you want to launch a range of prison mannequins to aid escapees. Well, that is simple. Get in touch with us, whatever your hope and dream. Just as our Kickstarter today did, as we give their Kickstarter a kick up the arse. And one such Kickstarter hopeful, I'm going to describe him as. He's called Ally. He's on the telephone. Hello, Ally.
Hi there, John. How you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. So how, before we find out what the project is, how hopeful are you? Where along the path of hope will we find you with this project, Ally?
Well, I'm quite confident.
Good,
we're
strong.
at 65% with about 5 or 6 days left. We've seen a big uplift over the weekend of people sort of interested in the project and backing us. So hopefully we'll hit our target in the next few days and then be able to get on with the next bit of hard work. After that, getting it all out to people.
Right, let's see if we can help you then. That's the point of the exercise, of course. And
Perfect.
Tell us, Ally, what you're proposing.
So I have created a new card party game called Show or Tell. It's a play on a number of sort of popular games, such as like Charades and Articulate, where players have to sort of act out or describe certain phrases or words that are described on the cards to their teammates.
Yeah.
However, they've got slightly controversial sort of theme towards it, sort of quite adult entertainment, and sort of includes a number of sort of high-profile individuals that are quite controversial within the world scene.
Right. So when you say it includes the individuals, do we mime the individuals' actions, or do we describe the individuals' actions, or both?
It depends on what type of card you get. We've got show cards, which is where you act out and they're red. So if a team member picks up a selection of those cards and shows it to their teammates, they have to then act out whatever's written on that card.
I see.
As well as that, we've got the tell cards, which are blue, where when they're selected, the players have to describe what is on the card.
I see. So, for instance, if I picked a card out and it said, I'll just pluck this out of the air, Paul Ross, the full set breakfast presenter of this very radio station, Ally.
Yeah.
Would I have to mime what I know of Paul Ross in order for people to guess it was Paul Ross, or describe it? Or which, you know, I mean, you could go both routes, is what I'm saying. So do you pick, when you pick a celebrity, a high-profile name, and we know there's stuff about them, the miming's funnier, right?
It is. However, the way that the cards have been designed is that the more sort of like the words, the names, or the phrases of individuals or things that are sort of easier to act out, we've sort of already pre-put on the red cards, which are the acting cards.
Yeah.
For Paul Ross, I'll be honest, I don't know him personally, but I would be able to sort of describe him. So he would most probably be on one of the blue cards, which is one of our tell cards where people can describe who he is to obviously get your teammates to guess him.
Yes, I understand. Well, I mean, it could be a future name for you, that's all. Just Google.
No, definitely.
Just Google Paul Ross Maidenhead, and you'll see what I mean. I mean, Cheryl Cole is an easy one, isn't it? Because all you'd have to do there, because everyone's forgotten about Cheryl, as we know. You know, she's
Have they?
Well, you know, I don't mean forgotten who she is. I mean forgotten what she did, Ally, because she punched a toilet attendant in the face, didn't she, in a nightclub?
She did.
Yeah.
You could potentially act that out.
You could do that. Yeah.
So, I think there's a few other sort of actions you could do as well at the minute.
I think there probably are. I mean, it's you know, you've got no shortage of places to go with this. Is what I'm saying.
No, not really. Like within sort of the decks itself, we've got sort of expansion packs where we've got you've got the ability to buy the expansion packs, which have got a number of blank cards which you can fill out yourself as well. So even if you wanted to put up a celebrity that you guys knew quite well, or just one of your friends, or something that your group of friends do sort of quite regularly or know about, you can also include that. So
that's good.
A personal touch.
Yeah, that's nice.
To the game itself. So if you were someone that knew Cheryl pretty well, you could write her down and obviously act out certain things which she does that other people would be able to guess.
Yeah, what an interesting list of...
Potentially including what you just mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, what an interesting way of breaking injunctions as well, because, you could write down him and then act out what he did.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it now, obviously, but you know what I mean. Anyway, right, look, I think I like this. This is interesting. When you sat around to come up with because I've looked through it, and some of the things you do have to act out, you're absolutely right. I can't even begin to describe on the radio.
No, maybe not.
For obvious.
It's definitely not it's not PG, let's say that.
No.
And quite un-PC in some areas. However, the game's all about having fun and a laugh. It was designed to, when I first sat down to create it, it was a way of sort of breaking the awkwardness of myself sort of recovering from balls cancer.
That's what I was going to ask you about that, yes.
Yeah, so there is a testicular cancer card in there, which you can either act out or describe, depending on...
And you could do both, presumably, Ali.
Oh, I can do both, definitely. I think a few of my friends know about it quite well as well now. So
this is interesting, because this was kind of I guess this was born out of your time recuperating, was it then? And you sort of had time on your hands, and this is how the game developed in the first place.
Yeah, so basically, post sort of diagnosis and surgery, I was sort of bedridden for a number of weeks, and when I had sort of friends coming round, I didn't want it to be awkward for them to sort of like be seeing me unable to really move.
Yeah.
So sort of devised sort of the game so that people would be able to sort of, just have a bit of fun and laugh about it.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting you say that, because that is an approach that I think a lot of sensible people do take with these things, because that is a life-changing experience and potentially fatal, and you've come through it, which is brilliant. But it's one of those things, if you can sort of take it and laugh at it, it improves the situation for you if you're suffering, doesn't it?
I personally I wouldn't laugh at it. Cancer itself is sort of a broad term for a whole spectrum of different sort of illnesses.
Yeah.
However, taking a good sense of humour towards sort of recovery and being positive is something which I would definitely promote to others.
Absolutely.
In myself, I've found the funny side of it. Sort of losing a testicle, makes me a bit lighter, and I did need to lose a bit of weight. So that was one positive.
What's the average weight of a testicle, Ali? Do you know?
I'm not too sure. I think it's a few sort of 100 grams.
Yeah, but every little helps, right? So
every pound helps.
What's the timescale on this, Ali? So when were you first diagnosed then? How did it come about?
So I was diagnosed about 6 months ago. Sort of regularly sort of checked your balls,
check yourself,
every now and again, and sort of found something. So I went to the hospital, at which point I was sort of referred to get a scan, which happened about a month later.
Right.
And then sort of after that, they sort of said, there's a high probability it could be cancer. It might not be, however. There's quite a number of other things which can go on in your testicles.
Yeah.
However, from doing sort of some tests and scans, they sort of said, let's just take it out and then we can do the biopsy and figure out exactly what it is.
Right.
A week later, had the chop. So lost that little guy. However, it came back a couple of weeks later when I went to see the doctors again that it was actually cancer. So then sort of went on the sort of the recovery process of sort of more blood tests and everything else and scans to assess if it had spread or if it was contained. And then sort of at the minute I'm now on the sort of monitoring for 2 years, just to make sure that nothing naughty happens elsewhere in the body.
Sure.
So really positive.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like testicular cancer is so common within sort of males within sort of my age group.
How old are you, Ali?
So I've just turned 31.
Okay.
I was 30 when I got the news.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most treatable cancers that there is. So if you were going to get one, it's a good one to get.
And get in early, check yourself is the message, of course. Yeah.
No, definitely.
And to be honest, there's rarely a day goes by when a man doesn't check his own testicles. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
don't
good
know
advice.
how most people check them, but I definitely advise to sort of go to the main sort of news channels or sort of the NHS choices just to sort of understand specifically
what you've got to be doing.
To check.
Yeah.
And with that, if you check it and you feel something's a bit odd, like go to the doctor straight away. And if you're still worried after that, go to the GP and make sure that they sort of send you for a scan. From obviously promoting myself sort of amongst my friendship group and wider, quite a number of sort of friends as well as sort of acquaintances have actually found things and went to the doctors. Fortunately, none of them have been diagnosed with anything, cancer related.
Sure.
However, they have found sort of abnormalities or growths down there, and have been able to sort of get those sorted out straight away.
Yeah, what I like about this idea as well is that you sort of channeled it into this game. So you sat around with friends coming up, because that's a lot of work to get all this stuff on these cards, right? Because that's a lot of cards. So
yeah,
was it one of those good nights in the pub where you go, right, let's just write down a load of filthy thing? Not all filthy, of course. A lot of it's there's many things to act out in here. But was it kind of one of those processes where you go, right, what? Because I'll tell you why I ask. In the office, when we were looking at it, there were at least 3 words there that there were people in the office who didn't know what they were or how they begin to act it out. To the rest of us who did know, that was quite funny.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing of the game. There's one word in there, well, one sort of product, I would say, that was sort of advised to me by sort of a girlfriend that I'd never heard of, and I put it in anyway. And as soon as it was sort of described, a few of the girls were just absolutely in stitches. I then had to sort of Google to figure out what that thing was, and it was something which definitely, most males would not know about.
This is interesting. You're gonna have to tell us what it is. You're gonna have to tell us what it is.
I'll say the word, but I won't say what it is.
No, God, no.
If anyone wants to look it up, they can. It's called a moon cup, which I never knew about.
I know what that is. I know what that is.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's the ideal gift for your mum. What?
I would not give that to my mum.
It's a stocking filler in many ways.
You could describe it as that. But yeah, like there's quite a number of cards which people wouldn't necessarily know, but others might do in the group. And even if it's not your team that's acting or describing the things out, it's something which people can get involved in and enjoy the whole way through.
Good stuff. So look, you're looking for, so in terms of pledges, you say you've got 5 or 6 days to go. And what figure are you trying to get to?
So I'm trying to get to £8,000.
Right. And that'll pay for the cutting of the cards, the distribution of the game, and all that stuff, presumably, will it?
Yeah, I've got some friends over in the Far East that are sort of going to be printing it all out for me, and then I'll be distributing it across the world, really.
Yeah.
Kickstarter allows anyone sort of from the US to the UK to Australia or where else to sort of back these projects. So we've got people from as far as Australia, New Zealand, some in Malaysia, Canada and the US, just to name a few countries that have already backed it. So with 5 days left, we've got just under, I think it's £2,500 left of backing. Yeah. So a bit.
When you're a vast
we should be able to hit it.
Game mogul, Ali, and a billionaire, you will of course be giving some of the profits to cancer-related charities, won't you?
To be honest, myself and a couple of friends are actually we're pulling together a calendar next year to do a lot of fundraising, specifically for Macmillan Cancer, who've been a great help to me.
Of course.
More than anyone else. Their support for people with cancer is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. From
being within the hospitals to having sort of care groups away from it. One of the things with cancer is that it's not something which you just cut out or take some drugs for. There's a lot of other sort of aspects towards it which can really affect an individual, and not just the individual, even those around them. Their support network as well. And Macmillan are fantastic at supporting absolutely everyone involved with anything that is cancer related. So we'll be doing quite a bit of fundraising for them next year, and we at the minute the game is just something which we sort of I've used to sort of focus sort of my mind to achieve something whilst I'm in my recovery.
Yeah.
But looking further afield, there's definitely a lot of opportunity for us to work with other people.
Ali, listen, it's a great story. I wish you all the best, of course, with it and your health. And thank you so much for talking to us. What a good story. What a good thing to come out of a bad thing in that sense.
No, definitely.
A pleasure. So that's Ali. You'll find, if you go on Kickstarter, if you search for Show or Tell, that's the name of the game. There's a video demonstrating how to play. There's filthy cards. There are unbroadcastable cards. There are other cards. And a moon cup. So Kickstarter, what you're looking for, Show or Tell.